Good morning to all the coffee beans out there. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, uh, uh. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with your boy Tay Biz. I am your boy Tay Biz coming at you this morning. Just want to go ahead and kick the show off real quick. Thank you all for those that are tuning in and those that are about to tune in. We appreciate you for being a part of our network. Right? Yes, indeedy, man. This has been a very interesting week. I don't know about you all, but it's been a nice little. It's been a long week. It's been a long week, but I'm happy for the weekend. So happy Saturday to everybody. And yo, we about to kick this show off real good. We got a lot of stuff a lot of things to discuss. Um, it's a lot of things that is happening um in the world, and not only in the world, but also in the news and things of that nature. And we're going to definitely talk about it a little bit here. But before we do, I want to go ahead and present some fun facts about some coffee once again, because that's what we do every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. I just want to say again, good morning to everybody. Did you know that coffee is the second largest commodity that's traded in the world? I did not know that. I honestly did not know that. I thought it was like, I know the first one is oil for sure, and I thought it was going to be gold, but at least second, but it's actually coffee, man. So shout out to all the coffee drinkers, hey, shout out to us this morning, man. We drinking the second largest commodity right now. So that's what's up. Good morning, Sean. How are you doing this morning? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Mail Room Network and to the Coffee and Conversation show. We about to go ahead and get it cracking and get it popping, because there's so many things I want to talk about today. um Man, first I want to thank everybody for just being a part of the Mailroom Network. Again, we are tomorrow. We will be celebrating the 10th episode of the Mailroom Show, and so we definitely want to say thank you to everyone who has been tuning in on a weekly basis. We appreciate you. We got nothing but love for you, and tomorrow's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a great show. We got some good stuff for you, so stay tuned to tomorrow. All right. um, we got a lot to discuss, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got this thing with the guy from the Boston Celtics, uh, Ime Udoka, who was the head coach for the Celtics, and he and another young lady who was on the staff had a consensual relationship, and some stuff came out about that, and so they had to reprimand him and all that kind of stuff. But I want to dive into that a little bit. I also want to dive into some other stuff too. It's so much to talk about. It really is. So we're gonna get into our main topic for sure. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna definitely talk about the power of letting go, and is there power in letting go? You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna kick that off. But once again, thank you for everyone that's tuning in right now. If you got your coffee, go ahead and raise it on up. Let's take a sip. Hmm. Delightful, delightful, delightful. Yo, so let's talk about this cat right here. Matter of fact, let me get my stuff together, man, because this right here is crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, Man, this right here is crazy. Um, so um, if for all y'all that don't know who he is, this is this is the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Thank you. Oh man, thank you, Axe, man. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Joe Atkins. Thank you so much, man. Yo, we are diving into this real quick, man. This guy right here, Ime Udoka, my man, right? So this is the backstory of it all. So basically, you know, for y'all that don't know this man, he's a head coach for the Boston Celtics. Um, he's one of the few black head coaches in the league in the NBA. And so recent story came out that he um, had a consensual relationship with someone on the Boston Celtics staff. Now, mind you that this guy here uh, also is and has been in a very long term relationship with Nia Long, right? Um, yeah. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and let's get into that. Uh, he may, they've been together so long, people thought they was married, right? But look, I mean, they go all the way back to like 2010. Oh, I think I'm messing up here. Yeah, they go all the way back since 2010. They got a child together and everything. All right. So so he, you know, has I guess a reputation of doing his thing or whatever. So nevertheless, he that happened, and the Boston Celtics, not the NBA, the Boston Celtics suspended the man for the whole entire season, all the way up until June 30th, which is the last day of the league season. And so a lot of people are in uproar. You know what I'm saying? The women are like, yeah, man, all men cheat. Now they just going crazy about this story. But there's a caveat here, right? So this guy here, right? He did play in the NBA for a little bit. I think his career was only like 12, like as far as his whole career in playing basketball was like 12-year span. And a lot of his career now, he's known for coaching, you know what I'm saying? And he studied under Greg Popovich and all these guys, right? So what happened in the story is this. This right here is the Celtics owner. His name is, I don't even know how to pronounce the first joint. We're gonna call him Wick. Is it Wick? Weiss? What? No. What? One of them, Grusbeck, right? Suspended coach Ime Udoka uh after a long investigation about this. Now, this is the thing. The story keeps changing because first the woman says that, hey, he and the woman said it was a consensual sexual relationship, which is not even uncommon in the NBA. Let's just start there. People, if you know, you know, right? Like this is not uncommon. This is not an uncommon thing. And so this is the thing about the story is the fact that the owners involved. It's so many people that's involved with this. But I want to do is I want to play because see the owner and everybody is getting involved to the point, and a lot of times in situations like this, owners and stuff really don't. They may do like on the back end, they may do all like the punishing or whatever. But for it to be this deep, it's a little bit. It's something else going on. Now watch this. This is the owner and the basketball, president of basketball operations. They're going to be talking. I'm going to mute up. But check out what this press conference was. Check this out real quick.
Clear guidelines for any of this. This is really conscience, and we have strong values at the Celtics, and we are doing our very best to uphold them here. As you know, Ime Udoka has been suspended for the upcoming season for breaking team rules. The suspension is for a season through June 30th, and we will make a determination at a later time about Ime's future with us, and that'll be discussed another time and has not been decided.
I thought, we have a lot of talented women in our organization, and I thought yesterday was really hard on them, and I think that nobody can control Twitter speculation and rampant, but
Whoa. Did he just drop the B bomb on? Why? I don't know about y'all, but it looks so personal for him. It looks so personal. Like it's almost like it happened to him or something. Like something happened to him, right? I mean, he's taking it personal. Brad Stevens is taking it super personal. Now, this is the thing. The story, no one knows who the woman's name or anything. Nobody. Nobody knows the woman's name at all. But we're gonna deep dive into what is possible because there is some other stuff going on. So let's deep dive. Let's do it. Let's continue real quick.
I do think that we, as an organization, have a responsibility to make sure we're there to support them now, because a lot of people were dragged unfairly into that.
I personally feel that this is well warranted and appropriate, um, backed by substantial research and evidence and facts. And so I'm standing by the decision, and EMA has accepted it and has expressed, in fact, appreciation. I don't want to belabor that, but he's been accepting of it, and he's planning to move forward on this basis. So we are over here. We are suspending him for the year, and it's in place, and we're moving forward.
Joe's going to be in charge, and it's not an easy timing for him.
Okay, so Joe is going to be the interim head coach, right, or the official head coach for this season. But you see how the owner is he said he personally feel like it's warranted, right? So there's a part of the story that I want to get into, right? So my man Matt Barnes, Matt Barnes came out and was like, "Yo, I think that what happened to my man was kind of messed up." You know what I'm saying? Let's read this article real quick. It says longtime NBA player Matt Barnes rescinded an earlier criticism of the Celtics for their decision to suspend Ime Udoka, declaring he had learned the facts behind the suspended coach's transactions and that the behavior is 100 times uglier than any of us thought. Right? Barnes said on social media Thursday night that a consensual sexual relationship within the NBA is not uncommon, and that it was a terrible decision to punish Udoka with a 1 year suspension equal to that of Suns owner Robert Sarver. Now, Robert Sarver is a owner who was like who got caught using the N word like a lot, just saying all kind of crazy stuff. And then the NBA itself suspended him for a whole year, I believe. They didn't. I'm. I don't think they banned him, but they did do a year suspension. Right now, this is the thing with this suspension that my man, the head coach, is going to take. No one knows if, like, no one knows if he's going to still get paid, but it's speculated that he will get like 50% of his earnings, maybe, right? And no, there is nothing that's going to happen to the woman. Watch this. Um, hold on one second here. It says both Grusbeck and Celtics president of basketball operations Brad Stevens said little about the specifics of the case involved or what policies Udoka violated, but he did violate some policies. This is a Boston Celtics issue. This is not an NBA issue. The Boston Celtics have certain policies that are prohibited for people, right? Good morning, Sabrina. Thank you for tuning in. Sounds she said sounds about white. Right. What's up, B? Yo, so check this out, right? So and listen, if y'all want to chime in on this, y'all can click the link in the panel. I got it on the YouTube channel and on the official Facebook page of the Mailroom Show, Mailroom Network. So if you go over to if you watch us on the Mailroom Network on YouTube, I pinned the link in the chat if you want to chime in and get on the panel with me, right? So so it says here that he violated some policies. It was an official intimate relationship. with a female member of the franchise's staff. This is what they're labeling her as, the female member of the franchise's staff. But check this out. There is another report that that FS1 did. They took a deeper dive. Coming to find out that this female member of the franchise's staff, she's married. And not only is she married, but she's married to a high-ranking official in the organization. Huh? Okay. Now this is what it nothing look, it says it was at that point the team chose to suspend Udoka for a full season, with Grusbeck saying the suspension will end June 30th, 2023, the final day of the year, right? He said it would come with a significant financial penalty, and that no one besides Udoka within the organization was going to be disciplined as a result of the organization. Let me read that again. He said it would come with a significant financial penalty. Huh? Come on, Joe. I'm sorry, Pastor Joe Atkins, I'm sorry. He said it will come with a significant, this is the owner talking about. This is the owner. It's going to come with a significant financial penalty, and that no one besides Udoka, no one besides Udoka, who is the head coach of the Boston Celtics, no one else is going to be punished or disciplined as a result of the investigation. Now, it was a consensual relationship he had with this female member of the franchise staff, right? And then as the investigation continues, then it says this woman says that he was making passes at me. Then the story done flipped around now. Now the story done changed, right? So I'm trying to figure out what is going to happen to somebody else. That's what I was trying to figure out. And then reading this, nothing's going to happen to anybody else but him. So this man, Ime Udoka, this man is going down. He's taking the L. Now, granted, I understand that he should not have done this. This is in violation of the Boston Celtics policy. And now it becomes all clear. Exactly. Now it's clear. Okay, she said, I think I know. Okay, Barrick, if you know what the female looks like, please send me something. Like, I would love to deep dive into that. But I'm pretty sure she's probably white. Okay. I'm pretty sure. But the main thing is that she is married to a high-ranking official. Now, this is what was reported from FS1, who had a private investigator look at this. They haven't reported it out in the open yet, but I was watching some of the shows on FS1, and one of the hosts of one of the shows, I'll say that because I don't want to put no names out there because I don't want nobody coming after the look. We just got our network up. I ain't trying to have nobody come after us. You know what I'm saying? But it's reported that she was married to a guy that is up there, and they taking it personal. They taking it mad personal. Look at this. She lacks melanin for sure. Oh yeah, she lacks melanin for sure. That is facts. So I looked at so I'm still like deep diving into this story, right? So I'm looking at First Take. My man Stephen A. Smith is my guy right here, dog. Listen, he is one of the look. A lot of people don't like Stephen A. Smith, right? But this guy is he's entertaining. I can't help it. He's entertaining. But he said something interesting, and there's another he said something interesting about this. Stephen A. Shut Up, Malika Andrews. Ume Udoka did not sexually abuse in Boston Celtics, or did not do any sexual abuse, which is facts. There was no sexual abuse. There was none of that. No one is saying that this man did anything inappropriate sexually to a woman. All they're saying is that he violated the policy of sleeping with somebody or being intimate with someone on the franchise's staff. Okay, now you violate a policy like at any job, you get reprimanded. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they fire you, sometimes they suspend you, whatever the case may be. The Boston Celtics, they're not firing him, they're suspending him, they're giving him a financial penalty, and on top of this, they are not allowing him to go anywhere else within the organization of the NBA to get a different job or anything. So he is stuck with the Celtics for a year. And that's why the owner, when we looked at the video earlier, that's why the owner said, we don't know about his future because they don't want to give him a future. Right. Oh, Dr. Atkins, not to throw you off, but this is all that's been talked about in Michigan, but no one is talking about Brett Favre. Yes, we are about to talk about that too. That is on the list today. You just ahead of me. That is on the list today. We are definitely about to deep dive into this. But I wanted to talk about this because at the end of the day, situations like this, where this guy is being castrated right before our very eyes, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it doesn't matter who you are, what your status is, it doesn't matter. You keep playing with fire, you're behind gonna get burnt. Period. This man committed career suicide. Whoever this woman is that he was dealing with, he made career suicide for sure. All right. Now, as a matter of fact, let's go back because Matt Barnes said something very important. We're gonna go back to Matt Barnes real quick because he said Matt Barnes is an NBA analyst and a podcaster. And he said something about the fact that he got a phone call from someone who had all the details and the S is deep. It's messy. He said some things happened that I can't condone. I came back, and it's not my place to tell you what happened. If it ends up coming out, it ends up coming out, and that is the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That whole thing is, was the lady married or not, and it's been investigated. Um, so that thing right there is ridiculous. It's career suicide. I don't understand why, but this man has committed career suicide. And this is the reason why, especially if you are in an organization, you're in Boston, of all places, you're in Boston, and you're going to do something this egregious, man, to yourself. Everybody talking about he cheating on Nia Long and all that kind of stuff. Look, they done had a long lasting boyfriend girlfriend relationship since 2010. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a lot of stuff within a relationship that who knows, right? But at the end of the day, she the issue is that how personal that everyone is taking this, as far as like the owner and all that kind of stuff, is very interesting to me because this happens all the time in the NBA. Happens all the time, and a lot of times we don't know anything about it. A lot of times we don't know anything about it, but we gonna leave it there. But I found that to be interesting how they are basically using this man as an example and letting him know, like, hey, if anybody else try this, and if anybody else do this, then boom, you know. And we don't know because if she is married, we don't know who her husband is if she is married. But it's again reported that he's a high-ranking official in the organization. And if that be the case, then he gonna especially if it's so high of an official where he's signing your paycheck. Oh man, you hit. You hit. But that right there is a still developing story. But so far, that's what we have, right? Um. Oh yeah. We're gonna about to deep dive into that rat now. If you are tuning in to Coffee and Conversation, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get the likes up real quick. I do appreciate everybody chiming in and being a part of the show this morning. This clown right here, Brett Favor. I want to get to the part where here it is. Brett Favre has been in the news once again. This guy, first of all, I don't like Brett Favre, honestly. As it just look, we deep diving into the NFL part right now. I can't stand Brett Favre. I cannot stand the dude. Um, if risking it all for was a person, yeah, exactly, exactly. That's exactly what Ume Roku, whatever his name is. That's yeah, he risked it all for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Let's deep dive into this Brett Favre situation because this right here is egregious. I'm trying to figure out how come no one is in jail. No, there is not a single. I have not gotten anybody. And if anybody out there you watching this show and you have a report on this about somebody being in jail for this, let me know. But this right here, no, I have not seen not one person in jail for this. Not one. I don't know. Brett Favre ain't in jail. None of the other. It's like a former wrestler was involved in this too. Some officials. No one's in jail. Now, where? Let's start off with what this is. So this started off with Brett Favre was supposed to be conducting speeches, and doing some ads and things of that nature for his alma mater, right? And this is where I want to start the story with, right? So Brett Favre's welfare scandal isn't going away. You darn Skippy. You darn Skippy. Look at this clown. I want to put a red nose right here and a bunch of red and white makeup and a clown wig and balloons in the background. If I could just edit this, I would. Another story of it sounds about white. Breaker, you on fire today, man. You on fire this morning, B. What's going on? You on fire this morning, man. You tortured. Check this out, man. So now it says a Brett Favre's involvement was first reported. It was treated by many as a weird quirk in a larger story. No, it's not a quirk. It's real talk. A Hall of Fame NFL quarterback who made over $100 million in his career took $1 million in welfare money to ostensibly make some speeches and cut some ads. Listen to me. That means he didn't do it. That's all that really means. If someone ostensibly do something, they didn't actually do it. They did not do it according to what was supposed to be done. They didn't do it near what it was supposed to be carved out as or anything. They did not do what they were supposed to do. These speeches and all these things, these ads that he cut, he did it ostensibly, which means not really. That's a fancy way of saying he didn't really do it. Welfare money, $1 million of welfare. Now, where is this taking place at? His alma mater, Southern Miss, Mississippi. Mississippi is the poorest state in the United States of America. It ranks at the very bottom economically. I have had the honor and privilege before of going down to Mississippi. Let me tell you something. I've been to Mississippi, I think, a few times. Listen, it's all it will set you back if you don't have if your mindset is, it's a state that's like, it's hard to explain it. It's like, it's so dated. It is so it's the most antiquated state that you can go visit. Very antiquated. Very, I mean, big fields of cotton, big fields of this and the other. I mean, one house is right here, then your next door neighbor is 10 miles down. It's legit. It's legit a very antiquated state overall. And economically, it's at the very bottom of all the states. This man takes $1 million of the welfare money, puts it in his pocket, doesn't do what he said he's gonna do. So, and certainly reflected badly upon Favre, he pledged to repay it. He said, you know what, I'm gonna give you the $1 million back. He didn't tack on the interest, but he gave away the $1 million, right? And he received the benefit of the doubt for that, right? That's what it says in the article. Watch this. It says Favre himself pleaded innocence and at worst ignorance through it all, claiming that he had no idea that the money was coming from the TANF, or as they call it, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Fund, a federal fund intended to help some of the poorest people in the country. No, don't say poorest people in the country. Poorest people in Mississippi, because we specifically talking about Mississippi right now. I know it's for the country, but we talking about Mississippi, the poorest of the poor of all the states. It's egregious. He didn't know that it came from the really? So I I don't know about you guys, but put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat and in the comments if when you get a check, it has the actual employer name on the check. Or even if you get a direct deposit, it comes from the actual employer that you work for. If you get a direct deposit and there's a organization name attached to that direct deposit, please put a one in the chat. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a one myself. There, how did you what? How do you not know where it's coming from? So no government name, no nothing, no organization name, no anything came from the TANF fund. None. You didn't get $1 million from them. You didn't know. You don't know who paid you. You got to be kidding me. You don't know who paid you for something that you didn't do. Even if you get paid under the table, you know who giving it to you. Oh my God. Brett Favre, you have failed. You have failed us. Look at this part right here. That veneer of all shucks, I made a mistake, was seemingly stripped away earlier this month with the publishing of texts between Favre and some of the alleged and since convicted leaders of the reported scheme. The report also demonstrated Favre had allegedly helped divert $5 million, no, $5 million more dollars in TANF funds to build a volleyball arena at his alma mater, which is Southern Miss, where his daughter plays volleyball. Brett, Brett, dude, you took or diverted or whatever word you want to call it. You stole. You took $5 million. There's a one. Thank you. Anybody with a direct deposit that know who paying them, put a one in the chat or in the comments if you're on Facebook. It's simple. Tomorrow he didn't know where the money was coming from. Baloney. Mississippi got Klansmen and barbecue burning. Brett Favre fronting like EBT was a division of Bitcoin, right? Come on, man. Come on, Don. This is the most egregious, man. $5 million. He take $5 million and to help build his alma mater's volleyball stadium where his daughter plays at. Here it is. Favre has since been questioned by the FBI over the alleged scheme, and it's unclear what further repercussions he could face. It's unclear. It's unclear. They, they don't know what to do with this thief. I thought embezzlement was a felony. They don't know what to do with Brett Favre. We're questioning him. The FBI is questioning him over this alleged scheme, and it's unclear what further repercussions he could face. Let me ask you a question. If you if you did this, if the average person just took $1,000 from welfare to do something else with it that they were not supposed to do, you will get either at least fined or you will go do some jail time. And all you people out there that's taking these food stamp cards and selling them for cash, if the government were to find this out, you would go to jail. Now I ain't gonna tell nobody that. We know how we get down, people. Let's not act like we don't know. All right. You would go to jail. You would go to jail as soon as they find out that you did something egregious like that. You would go to jail off rip. But they don't know what to do with this guy. He take $5 million from the poorest state, and he like, yo, let's swing that money over. Let's get this volleyball arena going, man. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, somebody helped me out in the chat. I believe that they actually built it already. He has so far, look, watch this. He has so far not been reported to be under criminal investigation, though he still has a civil suit to deal with from the state of Mississippi. Really? Really? He's under no criminal investigation. That's not a criminal act. That's not a criminal act to take that money from people who really need it to give it to volleyball stadium building. Look at this. Let me go back to this real quick. I just saw this. In particular, it was hard to see. It was hard to see how Favre could have known where he was getting his money when he wrote this in 2017. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? What? He ain't the brightest guy. he ain't the brightest guy, dog. Sir, they can find out anything they want to find out. Trust me, this is bigger than you. Crazy. Considering how far this whole story has already spiraled, however, and how many people allegedly involved have struck plea deals, the bottom of this might not be pleasant for Favre. They struck plea deals already for these people. Plea deals. Yo, man, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Exactly, dude. What's up, man? What's up? Good to see you too, man. Good to see you. This is you don't know who paying you, really? Brett Favre, you're not that slow. Well, I don't know. Maybe he is. Look at this dumb face he got. Look at that. Look at that. That- I'm telling you, man. I just want to smear that man. Ooh, and he not in jail. You already questioning the man. He's not even under criminal investigation. Everybody else taking plea deals. Really? Well, what plea deal is this? This is the most egregious thing, man. You made over $100 million in your career, bro, and you took $5 million for from the TANF and used it to help build your daughter's volleyball stadium, man, for your alma mater. Unbelievable, man. Thank you all for tuning in again. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with your boy Tay Biz. I appreciate everybody in the comments. So we're gonna deep dive into the main topic, which is there power in letting go? But before we do that, go take a quick little break, and we will be right back. Thank you all. Thank you all. Once again, appreciate you for tuning in to Coffee and Conversations. Yes, we're about to get into the actual conversation at hand. It was so much stuff to talk about in the news, man. This is just ridiculous, man. People stealing money from the poor and all kind of craziness going on, man. But I wanted to talk about this particular question about, is there power in letting go? And I got the link is in the comments, man. The link is in the comments. For those of you that's watching it probably on my page or anybody else's page or whatever, go over to the Mailroom Network, um, YouTube channel, and there's a link that I pinned in the chat, and you can click that link and you can be a part of the panel with me. I would definitely love to have a discussion with everybody about this. Um, is there power in letting go? I had a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about how people try to use other people as projects. They like they feel adequate only when they're able to try to fix somebody. And they only feel like they matter or they have some type of control when they see that they usurp some type of dominance over them. So what happens consequently is that the person who you are usurping a dominance over, that person, uh, it causes it feeds that ego inside of you, and it's an indirect thing. It's an indirect. It's not indirect. It's actually you're using that person to make yourself feel good about yourself, right? And what you're ultimate, what you're basically doing is you're projecting yourself onto someone else. And what happens to the other person is that they hold on to that person who's usurping the dominance. They hold on to them, right? And they feel like they can't live without this person or whatever. And that person will tell you that you can't live without me or you can't do this without me. I did this for you. I did that for you. And they start usurping that authority and dominance over you. And then all of a sudden you feeling stuck. You're feeling like you can't, you're feeling like you can't do anything because they know that you're weak minded and they're using that to make themselves look and be a certain way. And a lot of times, man, some people have a hard time letting go. Even when you are in a relationship and it's broken up, the relationship is over, been over. It's hard. Some people have residue of things in relationships, and it's hard to let it go because letting it go is a scary thing. It's so scary. It's scary for you to take a chance on yourself. It's scary for you to do things in a way that is courageous or adventurous or any of that. So what happens is when you holding on to something or someone, you're not experiencing the fullness of who you are. You think that because but this is have you ever met someone and you can be having a conversation with them and they just go into this whole thing about um their past. They just go into their past. And so much so they go into it so deep to the point they be like, oh man, let me stop talking about it, man. Because I'm in my feelings right now. Let me this I mean it's almost like it just happened. It's like they talk about it so deep, it's almost like it just happened to them today. Right. And it's like, yo, your experience and the things that you went through is not to keep you from growing, it's to help you grow. You know what I'm saying? It's to make you who you are. Pressure makes diamonds, right? When you get olive oil, right? They have to press the olive to extract the oil, which is why it's so expensive. It costs something. Everything you went through in your life, it costs something, right? It costs something. And there's value in it. And you have to figure out what the value is. People hold on to everything. I mean, I used to like even when I used to do it like when I was like dating or just kicking it with people, just like on the phone, women in particular, like, and they would ask me like, let me ask me questions that's like real like dark questions, like if we were together and you was my husband or something like that, and we had a kid together, like, would you resent my kids that I have with other men? And I'm like, what? Resent you? Like, who resenting kids? Where's this question coming from? And it's from a situation that they went through when they were a kid years ago. But the residue of whatever that experience was, the residue of it is not, they're still there. And again, people can tell you what they don't want, but when you ask a person what they do want, they can't tell you nothing. They just want something that they did not experience from their previous situation. That's what they want. That's all it is. It's not an actual thing. It's not, okay, I had somebody who used to yell at me. I don't want that. I had somebody who used to do this. Like, I don't want that. You just don't want what you experienced before. But if I took away that experience and asked you what you wanted for just you wouldn't have an answer. We hold on to stuff all the time. And because of that, we cheapen our future. Because we hold on to stuff in the past, we suffocate and we hold ransom our future because we don't understand how much power it is in letting go. Even parents, there's some parents out there who have a problem letting go of their kids, and their kids are grown. Your child is an adult, 30, 35 years old, and you still trying to treat them like they a little kid. You got to learn when to let go. There's some people that's watching me right now. Hey, come on in and chime in on the conversation with me. What do y'all think? Is there power in letting go? And what power do you gain when you let go of something? See, when you love enough to let go, when you love enough to let go, then you can start experiencing things in your future that you didn't know that you could experience. I'm gonna fight for my stuff. I'm gonna fight for this. I'm gonna fight for that. Okay, you fighting and fighting and fighting, but you're losing. You're losing. You're losing. You're going about it wrong. You're losing. And if you're losing, if you're losing, then what are you holding on to? What are you holding on to? What is it? What is it in your past? What is it in your past that's so important now that you still holding on to it? Again, you hold your future hostage when you holding on to the past. And then because everything that because when other people experience you, they're experiencing the residue of you. They're experiencing the stuff you holding on to. And then you want to say that they got a problem, but really you are projecting the problem that you haven't dealt with onto other people. And if you do that long enough, you are going to push people away, and it's going to cause a division, you're going to take a social punch in the face. No one wants to be around you, no one wants to talk to you because all you do is ooze out the residue of all the stuff from your past, and you try to act like you're walking around like you this healed person, but you're not. My man Duke Stark says, you are more clear-minded when you let go. Perfect. Perfect, man. Perfectly said. A matter of fact, perfect. That's a great statement. You're more clear-minded when you let go. Because the clutter in your mind and your soul and spirit, that clutter, you can't there's not there you can't make no good decisions with that. You know what I'm saying? The decision making, you won't be able to do nothing with this. I'm gonna try to put the I'm gonna try to see if I can put this link on my page too. Um, let's see here. All right, the link is on my page. If you're following JB page, it's on his as well. I think it's on Rob's too. And also, like I said, it's in the chat, and on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that for me real quick and subscribe to the channel. We be doing some good stuff, man. We got some good content over there. We got some good content over there. We got the ladies of Her Village Awaits podcast going to be with us tomorrow to celebrate episode number 10. Yeah, man, 10 episodes, man. Shout out to the Mailroom Show, man. Let's go. Yeah, we're on our 10th episode, and we're gonna have 10 more and 10 more and 10 more and 10 more. But yeah, you're more clear-minded when you let go. She said, "Yup." Hey, that's- be America is one half of the Her Village Awaits podcast. And then we have Kelly Lee, who is her partner in crime, man. And it's absolutely shine 100. We definitely gonna have a good time tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, and then I realized this too, like when man, when I was going through, shout out to my boy Rollo. Uh-oh. Shout out to my boy Rollo. Appreciate you, man. I remember when I went through when I was going through, I'm gonna be transparent for a second. Then we gonna move on. Um I remember when I approached when I was separated from my marriage. This is back in 2014. 2014 was my first year being separated. And it was a wrap. I mean, we both knew it was a wrap, right? And but at the same time, I was still trying to fight for it. I'm telling y'all, man, I've been through this. Did all I exhausted every option I could to be able to say and give it the fairest shot possible to make sure that I remain married. At that point, I was married for quite some time, and I mean, I was trying and everything, and we were separated, so I had a merchandising gig at that year. As a matter of fact, my guy Joe Atkins, who was in the chat, he was one of the partners that I worked with that year. We was coming in and out of town and stuff like that for like certain holidays and all that kind of stuff. And I would see her, and I would try to, we spend time together. We would try to make it work and all that kind of stuff. And like that second visit though was just the weirdest visit ever, man. Weird. And without going into too many details, I mean, no, I mean, I was like, we got a hotel, no meetup at the hotel. I mean, this is my wife at the time, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like she not there. It's like already late. You know what I'm saying? It's getting later and later and later. My phone was messing up. Like it wasn't keeping the charge. So I was like trying to see where she's at. It's midnight. It's 1. It's 2. It's 3 in the morning. It's like you come in 3 in the morning. Like, hey, like why you call? Why you trying to call me? Why you trying to do this? I'm hanging out with my sister. And I'm like, I'm like, okay. So being with your sister is more important to be with your husband. Got it. Got it, man. Okay. Duly noted. The most awkward visit back. And then once I came back to Michigan at that time permanently, it was so much stuff starting to unfold. And I was getting tired. I was like, you know what? It is what it is, man. And I had a phone call. I remember getting getting an IT gig at OnStar. Shout out to my man JB, the gent, because he recommended the job for me. And I remember being in the back of the parking lot of the building, in the back end of it. I was on the phone. I took a break because she was texting me and all that kind of stuff, and I took a break. And I'm like, let me just take a break real quick. I went outside and I told her, I said, hey, I love you enough to let you go, man. Said, you ain't getting no fight out of me. I'm cool. I said, just get the papers. I'll sign them, man. I'll sign them. I said it before I knew what I was saying. I said it so fast because in my mind, I don't want a divorce. No one wants to be divorced. It's like no one wants to be divorced. Divorce. I'm telling y'all, man. See, I'm gonna be real with y'all. All y'all little breakups y'all be having with these relationships, trust me, it is nowhere near the equivalence of getting a divorce. All right, it's y'all. I'm telling y'all, man. Like y'all, I'm telling you, some people listen. It ain't about you having tough skin neither. Ain't got nothing to do with none of that neither. Being divorced, getting divorced is one of the worst things outside of burying a loved one, is one of the worst experiences you could have in your personal life. I know I'm telling the truth. You ain't even gotta. I don't need no amens. I know I'm telling the truth. So having that, knowing that I'm about to go into that process was just like, when I said I love you enough to let you go, I meant it. And I think maybe a few weeks after that, or maybe a month after that, I signed the divorce decree, gave her a hug, signed the divorce decree, and I went on. I went to work. This is early in the morning, and I went to work. I had got my new car at the time. I was getting back on my feet, y'all, for real, because I was going through a lot, man. So I was getting back on my feet. Had a silver Chrysler 300, man. That boy was on point back in the day. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the newer models. My job was coming through. I had a little money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And all that kind of stuff. And I felt good. You know, I felt like I felt like I'm getting myself together. I felt like you know, I'm just trying to create my value all over again. You know what I'm saying? Starting from scratch. And then I had that same year, I had my weight loss surgery right before the divorce date, October the 9th, 2015. My weight loss surgery was September 30th of that same year. So I couldn't attend the um the court date because of my medication that I was on. So I was still healing up. So I couldn't drive or nothing like that. I couldn't like drive all the time. So I was able to do it over the phone, you know what I'm saying? And the judge said it he just read the decree. Everything was good. He was like, "Mr. Foster, do you have any last words to say?" I said, "Man, all I want to say is that just tell her that I wanted to tell her that I love you. I love you." And I told her, I said, "I love you. I wish nothing but the best for you, and thank you so much for the 10 years that we had. I appreciate you." I left it at that. Left it at that. And man, it felt so good. I was in tears. It felt so good to be able to finally take some type of control and handle and grip on myself. So that way I can move on. And I'm like, okay, now it's time. Now this is just the beginning. Now it's time to get rid of all the stuff that has hurt, that has been painful. It's time to get rid of it. So now it's time to start this journey. And that is the thing that people need to understand. Don't be scared to start your journey. Let go. All right. Oh, we got a visitor. What up, Sean?
What up?
Come on, you on Coffee and Conversation with your boy Jay Biz. Shout out to Sean, y'all. I appreciate you coming on the panel real quick. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. So, what's your take on this question? Is there power in letting go? What's your observation on it?
Um, there's power in letting go. I mean, but I think it takes the individual person have to
Mm,
set their mind of letting go, and work on themselves and just no no offense of saying, okay, I just need time to myself and figure out me
mhm,
and know that they can do it on their own and love themselves. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love no one else. And then when you jump into another relationship, that's why you keep bringing up that past because you ain't figure out yourself.
mhm. Uh,
So definitely, it take time, but it depends on individual. It might take longer for certain people. It might not take longer other people. But I think if you take your time of
mhm,
learning yourself and just figuring out, okay, you,
mhm,
then you know not to not only not make the same mistakes, but you learn to love yourself. And so when you jump into another relationship, you won't have that habit of bringing your past up because that was some of my mistake before. I used
mhm,
to bring certain my past, and I'm like, and I couldn't figure it out at first.
Mm-hmm.
But once I took that time to work on me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I
then
feel that.
some people, no offense to guys, I'm speaking on a woman
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
part. Um,
We just having a
they make
conversation.
you,
Go ahead.
they make you think like it's you sometimes,
Yeah.
and especially when you let go, and then some sayings like, you'll never do better than me, you'll never
Oh,
find no one better than me. And
oh.
sometimes on some ladies, it'll get in their head and they really believe that. And
Mm-hmm.
they feel like, okay, dang, I ain't gonna find a guy to do that for me, da da da. But that's, that ain't always true.
Right.
Focus on yourself and do what you need to do. You find out you can do a lot of things. Not to say we don't need men, because we do. So let me
Oh, yeah.
just clarify that. We
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
definitely
got
need men.
you. Mm-hmm.
But don't let a gentleman tear you down.
Mm-hmm.
Know yourself.
Yeah.
So
I think I agree with that because well, let me ask you this. What do you think it takes for a person to get to that place where they say, okay, to make that decision, all right, I need to let this go. What do you think it should take? How long do you think that should be?
I don't, just on my idea of it, I don't think it should take that long,
Mm-hmm.
because if you sit and mope in it, you'll never get nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know. For me, I think, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me maybe, I don't know, about 3 4 months, and then
Mm-hmm.
technically I still didn't jump into a relationship. I'm still, you know, just doing me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then taking my time to learn that next person,
Yeah.
as well as learning myself and focus on what I want to do. So when y'all come together, it can be. And then not only that, know that you can believe in yourself again,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is just like, what's the word I want to use? I don't want to say, you definitely got to know your worth, but you just got to know you. That's just the bottom line. You have to know
Yeah.
what you can, and then don't, and then figure out exactly what went wrong in the relationship. It's a saying I always say. I used to have a certain type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you think about them certain types, you be like, "Dang, this ain't working for me."
Right. Right.
And the very ones that saying, oh, they just a friend, oh, he's a good friend, might be the very one that you need to be in
Check
your
your
life.
friend zone. I say it all the time. Check your friend zone. Every woman got a friend zone list. You better check that boy, man. You better go back to that
Listen,
boy. I'm telling you.
listen, all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, and I had to learn that. I, I
Uh,
I can admit that I had to learn that, and
mm,
and I had to sit back and say, okay, I got a certain type, and this is
mm,
went wrong, this is went wrong,
mm,
and the very one that I thought that wasn't in my type, they're like, okay, he cool, all
mhm.
right.
I think
So,
because I think that it's your attitude determines your ability to make the decision on letting go and moving forward.
hmm
Because see, the way you think about something and your personal interest in it and the way you feel about something or someone, uh, it's it's almost reflective. It's like when you get into these situationships some people are in and all these other type of relationships or whatever. Even when it comes to, like, again, like I use the example about parents and children. Even in that, I'm talking especially grown adult children.
hmm
That are your children.
hmm
It's like even in that, your attitude about it determines the actual outcome. So it's like whatever attitude you had in the past with the person that treated you that way,
hmm
you will have the residue of that attitude about that kind of stuff. Then anything they do will trigger you.
hmm
Little thing, and you're triggered by it, and they looking like it's something very simple, but because it's triggering to you, and then you want to project that triggering onto the person, be like, well, you want them to stop doing something because it makes you feel a certain way, but really you need to check yourself.
True.
Man, that's what I mean by letting go, means that you're free from the attitude of the what you went through, like that attitude residue of it. It's like you're free from it. You don't have to think and feel about it that way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're free. You let it go. Everybody is not the same.
True.
Every just because I like my chicken crispy and you like it baked, I mean we still like chicken. I can't, man. People who eat uh crispy chicken, oh, I can't stand those type of people. I'm just as a silly example, but I'm using it because that's how
But it's
silly we
not.
sound. That's how silly we sound when we trying to get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like something so simple can be triggering only because of that experience that you did not deal with. And then
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to deal with it, but you want somebody else to fix that or change who they are to conform into what you want them to be, so that way it makes you feel comfortable. And I think that's the whole thing that we run into, the mishap that we run into. We don't let go enough. I'm talking
That's
about letting go of everything, letting go of everything that reminds you of what your past is. Just let it go.
that's true.
Sometimes we get in our own way, you know.
Nah, but that's a true statement.
Yeah.
That's such a true statement.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel you on like with the kids and stuff. And
Hmm.
just a little thing, even with my parents. And
Hmm.
I just said this to my mom uh, a month ago. And I have to call it back and like, I'm not trying to hurt your feeling or whatever. But I go see my parents and make sure they
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
Sometimes I cook for them or whatever, whatever. And when I go, at first, my mom be like, you ain't been on me. You gonna watch a movie with us? So,
Hmm.
not sometimes I do that.
Yeah.
Then I ain't watched like 3 or 4 movies, and then I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm about to get ready to go. And then here go mom. Well, why don't you just spend the night? And I'm like, my own house. Why am I spending the night? Mom, let
Right.
go. I am such and such age.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can I can go
Hey,
home.
let
It's
me
okay.
breathe. Hey, let me breathe for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
definitely,
definitely can breathe.
for sure. So I definitely, yeah, I definitely agree with you, and thank you again for coming on the panel and kicking it
You're
with your
welcome.
boy. I
You're welcome. I'm
appreciate it,
about to
man.
head back to my door on grandbaby game. So,
All
have
right,
fun.
all right. Thank you. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The power of letting go, and it's a very, very important thing that we need to learn to do. And so definitely, uh, agree with a lot of what Sean was saying about, you know, that you got to get to the point where, okay, I'm choosing to let go. I'm ready to face it, because a lot of times what we do is we have this fight or flight technique that we do. We have this thing where the way we deal with situations, we deal with them with force, which is fight. And then some people deal with situations by not dealing with it at all. And that's another unhealthy form of dealing with something. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, in the middle of that fight or flight is face. You have to face the actual task at hand. It's going to be hard and it's going to be a process, and it's all right. Everyone's process is different. And if yours is different, that's okay. But embrace the process, stick to the process, trust the process, let the process do what it do. Be patient with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you be patient with yourself, everything will turn out just fine. All right. So thank you again for listening to me babble today. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. So to come to a close, I just want to show love to everybody that chimed in, everybody that chatted, everybody that put a one and did their thing, said what they had to say. I appreciate all the people, even my Facebook friends, man, that was chiming in. I thank y'all too for chiming in with your boy. And until next time, next week we're gonna have another conversation. We're gonna have some more coffee, and we're gonna talk about a few things next week, man. So we're gonna get it in. But tune in to your boy next week. Will be episode number 6. We definitely gonna get it in and get it popping. All right. So till next time, I want you to keep your coffee and your conversation brewing. I'll let you. Yeah.